It's time to change the image. Hi guys! The comment of the day. My first teacher told us that a product made with your own hands should be better and nicer comparing to a product made at a factory, otherwise it's useless piece of bullshit. This is the idea that our channel is dedicated to, because as a rule we deal with the bullshit from the previous videos. So, I guess it's time to start. Let's go. Today is our first DIY that every man should have has been produced by a master from Canada. And again, our DIY masters demonstrate their commitment to screwing sound tools. And I would like to pay attention to the fact that the wrench has already been used for some other shitty DIY tool, and I dare suppose a tool for cleaning a thread. In the next videos we will test that a really useful tool. For sure, that tool should be in the toolkit of every real man, but there is just one little question. Where to use that tool? Guys, I'm serious, guys, where to use that? And believe me, I have good imagination and vast experience. I worked in many companies and held different positions. I built houses, constructed bikes, did engine swaps where it was completely impossible. I practiced blacksmithing. I have my own bike repair shop and I've been repairing bikes for 13 years. But frankly speaking, I can perform that task without any precision tool. Look at that, I can even show it. Let's do it like that and like that. That's it, it's done. One of my philosophy professors once told us that there are 3 stages of degradation on the development ladder. The first, the second and the third. I have to suggest that here we have the last one, because that operation can be performed without busting the tool. In order to repeat incredible functionality of that device, we need wires and 2 electrodes. For all my desire, I still can't even imagine where it can be used. However, dear colleague, I guess I know what you're trying to make, but all your attempts are futile because your mind is idle and your consciousness is clouded. The next DIY tool is perfect not so much for its functionality, but because of its logic and sequence factions. Tapping the hole using a bolt made of low carbon steel instead of a tap. The next episode is my favorite. Yes, it's gorgeous. First to paint, and then to weld. It's as genius as to asphalt at first and then pipes. It's as logical as to get nuts in her first and then to bail it with teaspoon to avoid her getting knocked up. When someone uses as in high nose activity instead of brain, we get that kind of incredible bullshit. I'm betting, while making that device, he was high on drugs. Okay, maybe that device is not a complete bullshit, but I'm worried about the health condition of that pathetic loser. That's why I think he should visit a proctologist and a euthanasist. The next DIY tool is just gorgeous due to its authenticity. If you didn't get it, let me explain. Our DIY master makes a hand drill using electrical drill. Fuck, it's genius! To make a drill having a drill. It's as fucked up as trying to get water sitting by a river. Let's imagine for a while the next situation. You need a drill. But if you don't have drill, then you can't make a drill. In other words, it's logical to assume that if you want to make a drill, you need to go to a shop and buy a drill. Suddenly, you want to replicate the success of that master. You go to a shop and tell a seller, can you please give me that drill? And what's for? I wanna make a drill. Fine, for the sake of objectivity, let's suppose that you need a tool for a very delicate work, and a common drill can't be used, and you need a small drill, for example, to drill printed circuit boards. But fuck, look at how that fucking drill bit bends! Poor printed circuit board will be turned into a calendar. And after all, show me a right-minded person who is going to drill a cheap boat using 2mm drill and that kind of drill. It seems like all the fucking DIY idiots stuck in the fucking Stone Age. And after all, we are living in the age of consumption. And if we summarize the labor input and the money expenses, then it's pretty clear, it's much faster to go to a shop and buy the cheapest screw gun. And when you perform the job, feel like you're a normal man and not like a loser that can't afford to buy a fucking sound tool. But I think Using the cheapest tool, it could be fast, nice and better. The logic of the video is just perfect. Fine, fuck it. The next and the last DIY masterpiece in our today's video. If the width of your clamp is not enough for some operations, the master recommends to customize the tool in the following way. I received a lot of messages with that DIY tool, around 1000 times. Personally, I'm sure there is a special circle of hell for bastards who like to fuck up clamps. I'd be glad to be the CEO of the circle and to fuck the dickheads. I'd make that bastards repair huge trucks with broken fingers. I'm really curious. Does our fucking master pretend to be an inventor? I don't want to say the tool doesn't work. It works pretty well, but the nonsense is, even I, in the asshole of the universe, could find several such tools in a local shop. The only excuse for that DIY piece of shit is that in a shop it's a bit expensive. After all, 36 bucks a piece, guys. But fuck, can't he weld that fucking tool more accurately? Even drunk Rapunzel on roller skates standing on the frozen deck of an old launch in Storm Force 9 could weld it nicer, even if she welded the two hanging parts than that dude. That tool is a good thing in terms of both making it and buying it, but why that dude can't make it nice? He sets an example, and some fools follow that same example. If some DIY pisses you off like it pisses us, send us your shitty DIY in comments to that video. See you in the next videos.